All right, Sean Zittel here, joined with Jonny Mansour, a decorated amateur who won the National Golden Gloves last year before turning pro this year. Got his pro debut win on a top-ranked card at home in San Diego on the undercard of the Navarrete-Barenchik fight. Jonny, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining me.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. It's going great. Just enjoying the win, but looking forward to what's next already.
Well, just to take it back to the amateurs for a minute, again, you won the Golden Gloves last year. You fought Bruce Carrington, beat Mark Castro and Amado Vargas, fought Jahmal Harvey, who's going to be on the Olympic team. Just can you tell the fans just what kind of decorated amateur and how good you were before even getting to this point in the pros?
It takes a lot of time, commitment, and most importantly, experience. So traveling with the USA team in the past as an amateur, definitely helped me build that solid amateur background to have the right experience. So that way, when I transitioned into the pros, it displayed that, I traveled overseas. I spent, years and years and years fighting the top in the world, from Russia, from China, from multiple different countries. So all that experience in the amateurs is very important. So now that I'm professional, a lot of people telling me, yeah, you look real good in your professional fight, man. They look like you have 10, 15 professional fights already. Well, of course, fighting at that elite level in the amateurs is just as much and just as high as the elite level in the pros.
You got a big following in San Diego, and I saw the guys from Top Rank, their eyes kind of light up when they heard the attention you got coming to the ring. Have you signed with Top Rank yet already, or what's that looking like?
I'm currently not signed with anybody. Of course, I'm very grateful. Top Rank presented me a great opportunity to be able to prove myself and to sell out, my hometown and to perform like we expected. But as of right now, I'm not signed with anybody, and yeah, I just came off a great victory, and I'm looking forward to what's next. So whatever opportunities God brings me, I'm looking forward to be able to put on for my people.
How do you analyze, your first fight? A few times I saw you drop your hands and kind of play to the crowd a little bit. You won every round. What kind of grade and assessment do you give your first outing as a professional?
It was good. I rate myself pretty high because I fought somebody with 8 professional fights. I didn't fight no pushover. I didn't fight someone who didn't come to fight. I fought somebody who truly came to fight. I fought somebody who had, a lot of fights in the pros and a great amateur background himself. So for us, we took the fight knowing that this guy is strong. This guy's never been hurt before. He's never been knocked out. He's gonna come to fight, and he has a lot of wins on his record. So taking the first fight, in my hometown in front of 15, 20,000 people against a guy who's no pushover, my team believed in me. I believed in myself, and we got the victory.
You got a beautiful view behind you, brother. You already balling before? You already made some good money in life, or you hanging out at a friend's house, or it looks nice wherever
Thank
you're.
you. I appreciate it. No, this is my house, and I'm blessed to be able to live under a nice roof and have food on my plate all the time. I don't have to box. I do this because I love to. I do this because I want to become the best at it. Thankfully, I come from a family that always had money, so I'm not boxing for the money. I'm doing it with a passion. I'm showing the world how far you can get when you do something that you truly love in life.
Does, in a way, actually coming from money, has that put a chip on your shoulder? And has there been times in the gym, in your fights, where you've had to prove something extra to these guys who might think, something sweet because the kid's got some money? And yeah, what would you say about that, Jonny?
At the end of the day, people have said it all to me. People have said, "Oh, you're just an Instagram boxer. Oh, you're not as talented as you say you are on social media." But May 18th, I was able to display who I am. I was able to display that no matter how wealthy my family is, it don't matter. I'm so hungry to just become the best in the sport of boxing. I work super hard. I fought people that told me, "Oh, you're not from the mud. You're not as hungry as I am," and I beat those people. So at the end of the day, like for me, this is what I love to do, and I'm gonna work as hard as I can, and I'm gonna outwork all the people around me because I truly want to become the best, and I believe I have a great team around me to do so.
Coming from San Diego, people at first might think, "Oh, it's a young Mexican kid, maybe like a Giovanni Santillan, Mexican guy who just fought for the title." But reading about you, I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but Chaldean heritage.
Chaldean. Yeah, so my family, I come from a Middle Eastern background. You know, my family's from Iraq, and I was born in USA, so I have that Middle Eastern and American background. So, it's an honor to be Middle Eastern because there's not many, Middle Eastern boxers besides me and my cousin Julius. And honestly, to be honest, like I love it, man. The Middle Eastern supports me very heavily. They support me very heavily, and it showed. It definitely showed on May 18th.
I'll let you unpack it if you want to, but do you fight for any reasons? Like we just saw Usyk fighting for his country against Fury. Do you fight for kind of deeper or even political reasons, beyond boxing or and for your people and things like that?
At the end of the day, I said I do this because I love it. So I fight for the people who have dreams and goals in life. I fight for the people who have that goal, that they have that childhood promise that sometimes they lose faith and lose hope on. I there was times where I wanted to give up. There was times where I felt like this wasn't made for me. There was multiple times where people told me to switch what I'm doing in life. But to be honest with you, I fight for the ones that have goals in life and that want to fulfill those goals, because I want to show everybody that I started from scratch. I came from nothing, and I started doing this, knowing nothing in the sport of boxing. But through all the obstacles that I had to go through, hard work can take you very far in life.
When I think of champions of Middle East descent, I guess the names that come to mind are Hamed and Khan, who were both Brits, I believe of Pakistani descent in the Middle East. And what do you think? If this is even a motivation for you, what do you think having success in this sport, being a champion potentially, what do you think like that would do for your people?
It do a lot. We don't have a Prince Nassim Hamed or an Amir Khan in today's day, and those are guys that I looked up to growing up. Those were guys that, not only were champions inside the ring, but were champions outside the ring with what they did. So truthfully, I look up to those guys. Manny Pacquiao, country hero. My uncle Jack has always put that vision in my head since I was a little kid. And to be honest with you, it's just doing what I love to do, and what we vision to accomplish. And I feel like, I come from a great background, a great team, a great family, and I work very hard, and I lead a great example for the younger generation to come behind me. So whatever God has planned, I'm willing to fulfill.
I talked about some of the big names you fought in the amateurs. Who's some of the big names you've sparred with, you've worked with?
There's many. I can't really recall too, like off the bat. I know I sparred. I don't like to give too many people some sunshine, like big names, these big names, these big names. I've worked with a lot of good people in the sport, and whether they have a name or don't, some people are very talented but don't have a big name, So to me, I have a lot of experience. I've worked with a lot of heavy hitters in the sport of boxing, whether they have a name or they don't.
Well, I saw that the fight with Harvey was a split decision. So I'm imagining it was a close fight. He's a great talent, who's going to represent the U.S. in the 24 Olympics this year. What do you remember about that fight?
I remember that we feel like we had a great performance that night, but at the end of the day, maybe I made it too close. Maybe I should have made it, much more clear than we did. In the amateurs, you have to make it super clear, super clear. So to me, growing up in the amateurs, the small close fights that I lost, my uncle always told me, hey, if it's close, you lost. So the amateurs, I always fought the best. I always fought the best. Even in my early stages, I went to England when I had 18 fights, and I fought Hopi Price. Hopi Price was ranked #1 in the world at the time, and he's also a successful professional fighter today. And I only had 18 fights, and it was a split decision loss. So I suffered a few losses in the amateurs, but when you lose, there's two ways you can go. You could either learn from it or suffer from it, and I always chose to learn from it.
How would you, for the fans that are listening, how would you describe your style, your strengths, your identity as a fighter?
I would say mainly elusive, high IQ, being smart, hitting and not getting hit, boxing, and also being able to sit down in those times that I got to sit down and get some respect. So I would say an all-around boxer, man, and most importantly, footwork, as you can see in the videos on my Instagram.
Do you find yourself a little awkward in some of the style you got, and that works to your advantage too, or you wouldn't agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. Super awkward.
That there's a little Prince not seen for you. He made his awkwardness work for him. So,
Yeah.
but before I let you go, man, just what are your ultimate goals in this sport, man? What do you want to get out of boxing?
Well, I'm gonna take it day by day. My goal is to become a world champion. After I accomplish that, I'll look on to what's next. So I feel like I feel like I'm ready to start stepping up to a 6 rounder already. But my team, whatever they have planned for me, I'm willing to do it. My first fight was a 4 rounder, and I felt good. I felt like I could have fought again that night. As soon as I hopped out the ring, I said I could fight one more time tonight. So to be honest with you, whatever my team has planned, I'm gonna take it step by step, fight by fight, and go from there.
If it is your ideal scenario though, fight in these first couple years as a pro, 5 times a year, something like that, 4 or 5. So yeah, what would you say is a good number?
I want to stay active as I can. I'm always active inside the gym. So at the end of the day, if I could fight 5, 6 times a year, that'd be great. So we had a good performance, May 18th, and whatever comes to the table, and makes sense, I'm willing to take on.
Well, thank you for your time, Johnny, man. Again, you got a real good reaction at home for that debut. So it looks like you already got a good following to kind of start as a foundation as a pro. If there's anything else you want to say, any gems you want to drop on us, but please do. But thanks for your time, man.
Of course, man. Well, I wouldn't be here without my team, so shout out to my coaches, Berlin, Robert, my coach Tez. Shout out to my family for all the support, my uncle Jack for advising me throughout my career, and all the other people that are really helping me out. So at the end of the day, man, we got a great team, a great platform, and I'm excited to, to see what's next.
Best of luck, brother. God bless. Thanks for your time, man.